The little girl saw the smoking iron in front of her. She walked up, reached out and touched the casing, which seemed fine, so she touched the sole plate again. The scalded girl walked over to the bed and cried to her mother who was sleeping. Actually, her mother was dead. After crying for a while, the girl fell asleep over the body. When she woke up, the girl saw that her mother was still ignoring her, and the girl began to cry again, shaking her mother as she did so. The mom's hand loosened and a bottle of sleeping pills fell out. It seemed the woman had committed suicide. Just then, the cell phone rings and the girl realizes that the phone is sitting on a high cupboard. She stepped onto the thin table board and dangled the other half of her foot in the air before she could barely see the phone. But just as she came down, the girl's hand slipped and the phone was knocked over and fell into the bottom of the table. The caller was Dad, who thought it was Mom dropping something, and there came a curse. It turns out that Mom and Dad had a big fight last night, and Mom couldn't stand the life and chose to kill herself. Quickly, Dad hung up his cell phone. The girl walked over to the bed and was a little distressed to see her mom covered in bruises. She went to the cabinet, found a bottle of cream, and ran back to apply the cream to her mom's wounds, hoping she would get better soon. After a while, the girl got hungry. She tried to get some milk to drink, but she accidentally spilled it all over the floor. She dutifully grabbed a cloth and wiped up the milk on the floor. The girl went to the kitchen to forage for food. She picked up a moldy piece of pastry, went to the microwave and put it in. She pressed random buttons and actually set the time to 10 minutes. By the time the time was up, the piece of pastry had turned into a blackened piece of charcoal. The girl put the pastry on the stovetop and baked it directly, and the whole piece of pastry began to char and catch fire, and the fire got bigger and bigger, and the girl blew on it with her mouth, and the fire burned even more fiercely. The girl had to turn off the stove, but at the same time the pastry turned black. The girl had to keep looking for food. She went to the refrigerator, opened it with all her might, took out a small piece of yesterday's cake and ate it. Then the girl threw out all the contents of the refrigerator and stood in front of it to play. She sat down in the refrigerator and trapped herself inside. The girl struggled frantically. The refrigerator shook violently, and after a while the door was pushed open by the girl's strength, and the girl dodged a bullet. But the danger is not over. The girl came to her room, playing with a balloon. The balloon accidentally touched the iron. The balloon exploded. The girl looked at the ironing machine, remembering the experience of being burned just now. She dared not touch it again. At that moment, the girl was attracted by the sound from downstairs. She came to the stairway and realized that it was something rattling in the kitchen. The girl was scared and cried, but still no one comforted her. After she stopped crying, the girl went to the balcony with her doll in her arms. She heard children playing downstairs. She put the doll outside the balcony to get the attention of the children downstairs. But no one paid any attention to her, so the girl threw the baby doll straight down. She took another pot of water and threw it straight down, and still no one played with her. By accident, the doll fell onto the coat rack. The girl reached out to grab it, but her hand couldn't even grab the doll's clothes, and her hand was cut by the bars, which hurt a little. She put her foot out to clip, this time to reach, but not the strength to clip up. Foot stomp, the doll fell down. How dangerous is it to leave a child alone at home? The girl ran to the balcony, climbed up to the iron railing, most of her feet hanging in the air, enjoying the scenery from a height. At this point, a family in the distance saw the girl's dangerous behavior and rushed to stop her. The girl listened and slowly climbed back to the ground, but soon, the girl was hungry and she picked up a bottle of floor cleaner from the ground and came to her mom, asking if she could drink the milk. The mom ignored her because the mom was dead. The girl poured the floor cleaner into her little bottle. The girl accidentally kicked the cleaner. The cleaner was spilled all over the floor and was undrinkable. In a hurry, the girl ran back to her mom. She picked at her mom's blouse and tried to get some food, but she was still sleeping. The girl cried and walked away and came downstairs. The whole floor was covered in water because the faucet was left running. The girl just took 2 steps and fell. Her pants got wet straight away. She went to the bottom of the table, took some of the cake that was on the floor and filled herself up, then went back upstairs. That's when the cell phone rang again, and it was Dad calling. He told the girl to put her mom on the phone, and the girl said that her mom was still asleep. Finally, Dad realized something was wrong. He hurriedly stopped the cab and prepared to rush back, and told his daughter not to hang up, but after a while, the phone died. When the girl returned to the room, her mom's body had begun to stink, and there were mosquitoes flying over it. The girl picked up a plate of food with a few sleeping pills mixed in. She picked up one of them and curiously ate it, and in total, she ate in 4 of them. Soon, the girl felt a little tired and slowly closed her eyes. Toward evening, the father finally arrived. He shouted his daughter's name. In desperation, he suddenly heard his daughter's voice. Searching for the sound, the father found his daughter hiding under the bed.